Want to know the best guns and cyberlimbs to use in off the grid? Just like in COD or Apex, the meta changes with each update. In this video, I show you 4 meta loadouts in 2025 that the sweaty pros use to get 10x more wins. It's mission time. Welcome back, agents. Secret Agent Stash here. We are at GIA headquarters, the gaming intelligence agency, always bring you the latest intel on the newest games. Today we're talking all about the meta loadouts, the best loadouts that you should be using right now for off the grid. Now this does change from time to time, but right now these are some of the best ones to be using, and a lot of these limbs have been some of the ones that have been in the meta for quite some time. So with these 4 loadouts, there's no way that you're not going to up your game here and be able to compete with all those sweaty pros out there right now. They're destroying you on Teardrop Island. Let's go look at the first one. All right, so just because a loadout is really good doesn't mean it fits your play style. That's why I'm going to show you 4 different ones today that have a little bit of a different play style. So whether you're a sniper or you're up close or you like to get down and dirty with shotguns, there's something here for you, and it's all the top of each one of those classes. Let's go take a look at the first one here. All right, our first loadout is for all you snipers out there. This is one of the most OP setups in the entire game. If you love sniping, you love doing trick shots, this is the one for you. So right now we're pairing this with a Tacoma Pioneer, which is one of the highest DPS SMGs in the game. Great accuracy, great recoil control. It has a 5th attachment that gives you an advantage over every other SMG. This is one of the most sought after guns in the entire game. You could only get it early access, and they are very, very rare. They're going for hundreds of dollars right now in the OTC markets. But it's a great pair with this sniper, which is the Kestrel Templar. This is a particular sniper that has great handling and ADS time for those crazy trick shots or aerial shots, right? So you can fly up in the air, scope real quick, hit them, get the plates off, and get the follow-up headshots really quick with this particular sniper. Now, with the Pioneer, you cannot set any of the actual attachments. They're already set. But you can for the Kestrel Templar here. So what I have is I have a light stock, we have our laser pointer, angled foregrip, and then we have our lightweight Kestrel barrel. So these are going to give you a lot of mobility and handling that allows you to quickly scope, and you know, with the sacrifice with a little bit of recoil here, right? So there is a little bit of that sacrifice for the recoil there, but is a beast when it comes to snipers, and definitely one of the most dominant in the game still. You can change that out for a scope if you want to mess around with the and take maybe the laser pointer off if you don't like the stock scope, which I like the actual stock scope for this one in particular. Now we pair this with double paralyzer. Paralyzer got the biggest buff in one of the recent updates. It went from 35 meters being able to see people in the paralyzer to 50 meters. So you can see people for a really long distance, see where they're at, see their health. And then in addition, when you have paralyzer active, you cannot be seen on recon drone. Huge. Then of course you get that stun, right? So you have that, and that definitely just makes up for any other like close quarter action you want. You hit him with the Templar, you fly in real quick, you can hit him with the paralyzer, then follow up with the Tacoma and just completely wipe people out in seconds. Now, you're going to pair this with a limb accelerator backpack so you can get those paralyzers ping-ponging back and forth, so you almost always have one that's almost ready. We are pairing this with Roadrunners, still one of the best legs in the game, even though they did get a nerf this last patch. There's no more bunny hops or slides because every activation is going to take a percentage away, but they are still one of the best legs in the game. Allows you to be able to quickly get around, especially in close quarters. And you just need to use them a little more sparingly, right? And find opportunities to fly a little bit more, because with jetpack changes, you can fly up now. So you just got to find that advantage where you can quickly Roadrunner and then not use them a bunch and then fly up and get out of there and use them in smaller spurts, but not bunny hopping where we used to do. So that is definitely now out. But this combination right here is an absolute beast when it comes to sniping, and you'll be just absolutely destroying people and headshotting them in all these kind of crazy aerial situations or from long distance. If you love shotguns, this next one is for you. This build is all about close to mid-range combat, and it uses the Influencer as its main gun for doing massive damage. The Influencer was one of the most OP guns in the entire game. It absolutely destroys like a shotgun, but from a pretty good range distance, right? Most of the shotguns you have to be pretty close up to get that good damage, but the Influencer has crazy accuracy and range in comparison to the other shotguns in the game. What we're doing here is when we kit it out, we're looking to add a lightweight stock, a heavy grip, the stabilizing foregrip, and then the heavy barrel. So we're going to try and maximize the accuracy and the mobility here with a little bit of kick to the range, because we want this to be fast and furious, right? And it definitely just rips off limbs like crazy, right? So it has basically a bunch of really good aspects to it, and it's essentially a 3-shot headshot from a really good distance. We're talking about, maybe 5 to 10 meters away or even further. Now we're pairing that once again with the Tacoma Pioneer. This is just your follow-up weapon, right? So this is what you're going to use when you've hit him with that influencer 1 or 2 times. Maybe you miss once or twice. You can pull out the Tacoma and you got a quick, a handling and accuracy weapon to follow up and take them out with. Now, when we look at the cyberlimbs for this loadout, a little bit of a different take here, right? So when we talk about the combination of these 3, Slam Fist, Roadrunners, and Paralyzer, you're getting almost the best of every world with this combination. With Roadrunners, we talked about how they've nerfed it a little bit and it's a little bit harder to get around. Now, Slam Fist gives you a bunch of abilities where it's going to get you in the air, right? So you can charge it up really fast, right? Instead of holding the charge and fly into the air to get some distance and get away. So it has the ability of kind of like a leaper or a hammerheads. But then also the added bonus of it's a distance closer, right? So you can smash somebody and break their plates, right? If you hit them with that charged up Slam Fist. This in combination with Roadrunners really helps because it gives you that mobility of having a way to kind of leap in the air wherever you're at, but then still road run away if you maybe don't have that charged up. And then you combine that with Paralyzer, being able to see people 50 meters away, hit them with that dart, and then you're also off a recon. This is one of the best combinations, and I've seen tons of the most sweatiest crews out there and clans that you may know using this particular combination. Once again, we're going with Limb Accelerate as well. Anytime I'm using something like Paralyzer or something that has a long cooldown, always want the Limb Accelerated backpack. But this is absolutely one of the most OP shotgun-based loadouts that you'd be playing right now. You got to get that influencer all kitted out. Once again, the Tacoma comes kitted out, regular. You can swap this out for any other weapon that has really good accuracy and handling and mobility. Okay, this is a very mid-range build loadout here for people who love ARs, right? You love something that has a little bit more accuracy but a little bit more range. And what we're doing here is we're having the Kite Liberator, or it's actually the Liberator. It's a high accuracy SMG. The Kite has actually come back. It was an absolute favorite to everybody early on in the game, and they definitely nerfed it for a while there, but the Kite is now back. And it has a few less rounds than the Epic version, the Liberator version, but it has amazing handling and really high accuracy. Once again, it's one of those guns that has set attachments, so you can't go in and change them, but they are pretty beefy in comparison to everything else that you can do with the rest of the Kite builds. Now we're pairing that with an M4 Commodore Enforcer, very similar, right? It's a high accuracy rifle, but this one actually allows you to kit it out with different attachments. It has a really big fire rate too, so you're gonna pump out the bullets here, and it's great for beaming people in the air. So when you're flying, and maybe you're not a sniper, but you can fly up and you can use this and you can get a lot of shots in the air while you're flying around, or if someone's flying in the air as well. So when you look at the different attachments here that we're trying to look at, we're looking at the light stock, we're looking at a heavy grip, that drum mag, and then the stabilizing foregrip for the under the barrel. And this gives you as much accuracy as you can possibly handle. It does sacrifice a little bit on the handling, but really what you want is that, I already have that high fire rate, but you want to get that really high accuracy as well. And the M4 gives it to you. I mean, it just is laser. There's almost zero recoil with this particular weapon. Now we're pairing this with, like I said, some cyber limbs that are a little bit more hands-off. So we're going with Recon Drone here. You could switch this out for Paralyzer if you want, but we're also doing a Ripper for a little bit of close combat, right? So once you've got them in that mid-range, you've got a couple of shots off of them, right? And then you're able to go in and Ripper them once you've already followed up, right? So you've engaged with them mid-range, you got some shots off, maybe you got their plates off. Now you can run her in there real quick. You know exactly where that with your Recon, and you can hit them with that Ripper, right? It's kind of like your end move, your finishing move, right? A lot of people want to get close in, they want to Ripper you first and then finish you off, and this one is a little bit more of a hands-off. All right, the last loadout I'm going to show you is an absolute close quarters beast of a loadout, and you might even say it's a little bananas. Right now, they just launched a new content pack for Off the Grid for pro players, and they have 2 brand new weapons in this pack. and they're absolutely bananas. So right now we have the Woodpecker Bananaizer as our main weapon. It hits like a freaking truck, super high DPS, slower rounds per second, so you have to be fairly accurate, but man, every one of those rounds just completely rips through the armor with that 5th attachment that is automatically on this gun. So it's a little bit faster and a little bit better DPS I've found than the standard Woodpecker or the Prankster Woodpecker, which are also pretty good options in this range. Now, we're pairing that with the brand new M4 Apex Predator, and it's very similar. It has a little bit to the Commodore, but it has better handling, and it has increased damage and recoil control with 6 attachments. 6! That's crazy. So the more attachments you get on something, is but really great as a kind of, you know, close mid-range weapon to really be able to follow up quickly with anybody that didn't get woodpecked or banana eyes, right? So definitely something that you know, really works in great combination, and you can only really get these from the Pro Pack right now or buy them on the marketplace. Now we've combined this with Double Ripper. Double Ripper was already fairly OP, right? But being able to have 2 Rippers when you're in close combat like this with something like the Woodpecker Bananas, where you can rip, if you miss them, you can rip again, and then hit him with that banana, and they are absolutely done. A couple shots with that Bananaizer, and that's it. They're on the ground, right? Now obviously pairing that with Roadrunners, because if you're going all close quarter combat, you need those to move around really fast, because that's usually when you're going to be using them, making sure that you're, you know, able to get in and get out quickly and then turn them back off as you're flying away. Now, in contrast to almost all the other builds here, we're going with the Soldier Backpack, so we can quickly reload both of these weapons when you're in close quarter combat like that. You really want that. And Rippers in particular, they do, since you're doing Double Ripper, they do come back a little bit faster than something like Paralyzer, so I don't think that we really need to have the Limb Accelerator here. You can switch them out if you feel like you can kind of, you know, switch those guns and reload them a little bit faster, but I do like the Soldier Backpack in this situation. All right, well, there you go, agents. 4 of the top meta loadouts with some of the best guns that you could be using right now for a plethora of different styles. Whether you're a sniper, you love shotguns, you like mid-range, or you like close-up action right in somebody's face with the knife and just ripping them right there and then ripping them again, we got something for you. And these are the loadouts that all the pros are using. Not only am I using these loadouts, but people who are 10x better than me, sweatier than me, are using these loadouts too in a really good combination. And if you give them a try, I'm sure you're gonna find something that fits your playstyle. Play around with it a little bit. Maybe, you know, you don't like one of the weapons, switch it out for something a little bit different. But I think you have kind of the setup and the knowledge now of why people use these things, what's good about them, and how to kind of kit them with the attachments they need to really maximize that particular weapon. Let me know what loadouts you guys are using in the comments below. I want to know your suggestions. I want to hear what you're using. Maybe there's something I missed. Put it in the comments below. That's all we have for today, agents. As always, this briefing never happened. Secret Agent Stash, over and out.
Secret Agent Stash. Secret Agent Stash.